What's up, everybody? My name's RaisorBlade. I asked you guys to vote which movie you wanted me to review next, and by popular demand, you all voted for The Beauty and the Beast 2017, which, to be honest, I am perfectly fine with, because, to be honest, I hate this movie. Alright, I went and saw this in theaters when it first released, and when I first saw the trailers, I was kind of excited about it initially, but then I went and saw it, and just so much about it, like, pissed me off. I mean, like, okay, I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of remakes, like these live-action remakes. I'm not a fan of them. I went and saw Cinderella, not a fan. I went and saw Jungle Book, didn't like it too much, but they were just kind of, just your typical bad remakes, nothing special about them. But Beauty and the Beast did something that just rubbed me off the wrong way, that I had to talk about this movie. It's less about the movie, more about everything behind the movie. Like, when it comes down to, like, the casting, the writing, and the marketing, which we'll talk about as we get to it throughout this review and the Let's Watch and everything like that, because there's a lot to talk about with this movie that just infuriates me to no end. So, with that in mind, let's sit down and watch Beauty and the Beast 2017. Let's begin. Oh, look how clever you are, Disney. You made the Beast Castle the new castle for Walt Disney. So clever. Yeah, I gotta say this right now. The new songs don't do a thing for me. Yeah, not one of them is memorable at all. This is the best singer in the movie, by the way. Don't expect to hear her anymore after this. Yeah, just break in and crash the party. I'm sure they'll totally let you stay after that, dumbass. Like, for real, it's like, she literally broke in, and then when there's like, you can't stay here. It's like, how dare you, you're so rude. I don't care if it's an old woman, still, she broke in and crashed a party. Rude. Even the prince is a dick about how well she looks, still, she broke in and crashed a party.
The prince and his servants were forgotten by the world. For the Enchantress had erased all memory of them.
Okay, if this movie made one change that works, it would be that one. That is the only change that actually makes sense to add to the overall story. Every other change is stupid, forced, and makes no sense whatsoever. Now for the next big problem, Hermione Granger, aka... No, Hermione Granger. Okay, I have no problem against Emma Watson. I think she's a talented actress. She has the most basic singing voice possible. Like, it's not terrible or it doesn't make me cringe or anything, but it's like for a lead actress in a musical, you need a powerful voice. And Emma Watson just has a okay voice. It's not that it's bad, it's just that it's fine. And you need amazing for a lead role in a musical, especially for Beauty and the Beast of all movies. Like, Paige O'Hara could knock it out of the park. Emma Watson just does okay, which is just lackluster. I know it's not her fault, but that's just the way it is. Another thing I want to point out is that in the original animated movie, Belle was the only person who wore blue. It was to help make her stand out artistically. But in this movie, you can see there's a lot of blue and on everyone else too. You can see blue on the kids, blue in the background. Yeah, it's like, yeah, see, he's got blue on. It's a very big thing. It's a very big detail and stuff like that, you know?
But behind that fair facade, I'm afraid she's rather odd.
Really, she seems pretty bland to me. Okay, if this movie has anything... Like, okay, the casting is a mess. But if there's anyone that actually works, it's Luke Evans as Gaston and Josh Gad as Olaf. Josh Gad as LeFou.
But she's so well-read.
Those two actually work okay.
Right from the moment when I met her, saw her, I said she's gorgeous and I fell. Here in town there's only she who is beautiful as me, so I'm making plans to woo and marry Belle.
Like, yeah, Luke Evans is actually pretty good. Okay, there's another casting choice that's actually pretty good in this movie. It's Kevin Kline as Maurice. That isn't to say I like his character for Maurice. Like, in the original animated movie, Maurice was a bumbling idiot who happened to be a genius too. This just seems like your generic okay dad, but Maurice in the animated movie had more personality. This just feels like your typical guy. I don't hate him, but he's just kind of bland. And that's one of the movie's biggest problems. Taking characters with such personality and life and just kind of making them bland and boring. That being said, this is probably the best scene in the movie. Everything's explained through the visuals. Like, Rob Walker made it clear, like, yeah, this is a really good scene because everything's explained so perfectly visually. It's the best scene in the movie, and it's all downhill from here. And I talked over the entire thing. I don't know. I feel like in this scene here, with the laundry scene, they try and give Belle a bit more character, but I don't know. Like, her character was already good enough in the original movie. You didn't need to add all this. Like, she was already a good character. This just seems like pointless filler that doesn't really do anything. It's a pointless change that adds nothing, really. Especially in the fact that we don't see things like this anymore later throughout the movie, so again, pointless. This movie's half an hour longer than the original, and really, it's all filler. It's all just for the sake of being longer.
I'm not done with you yet. Me neither.
Belle! I heard you had
I'll talk about the gay stuff later. Trust me, I'll get to it.
Do you know what happens to spinsters in this village after their fathers die? They beg for scraps like poor Agatha. This is our world, Belle.
There's just something really, like, mean-spirited about this movie, too. The original movie had an upbeat nature to it still. Like, I don't know, but this just seems really mean-spirited unnecessarily. I can not sing. I really suck.
You know where we are, Philippe, because I don't.
Don't you go there every year? Okay, that was really shitty editing right there. That was just bad. That was just really sloppy editing right there. Another problem this movie I have with it is the editing. Like, sometimes they can just do shit like that, and it's really bad. Like, this next scene here is also really bad. Hang on, just give it a second. He'll slide down, somehow end up on the horse, and it's really bad. Like, right here, watch. There. Somehow he end up on the horse. Like, what the fuck? How'd the horse get there? It's really bad. Okay, this movie is something else. It's that the set pieces look awesome. Alright? The castle looks awesome. I'll say that much. It looks so cool, really grand. It looks really nice. And when we get inside, it's gonna look even cooler. I'll say that much. The castle looks awesome. A light.
Beautiful.
I don't know, it looks a little phoned in, if you ask me.
Oops.
Yeah, not gonna ask any questions there? You just saw piano playing by itself.
Mum said I wasn't supposed to move because it might be scary.
Sorry.
So why'd you do it then? It took us almost half an hour to get Belle into the castle.
Beautiful girl.
Which is weird because most of the movie's been pretty slow at this point. But then the last 10 minutes happened and it's like... It's like the movie did in 15 minutes, but this movie took almost half an hour to do. And that's a problem. I know some people complain about me comparing this to the original, but it's a remake of the original. It's kind of hard not to. But people are like, just like it for what it is. Like, it's a remake of the original. I have to compare them. What a weird architect design for those stairs.
Who are you?
It's kind of like the Death Star laser. You can fall off whenever if you just took a wrong misstep. That gasp was really underwhelming. And that's my problem with Emma Watson's performance. She does what's expected of her. She doesn't add any charm or charisma to the role. She doesn't do anything that adds to her performance. She just does the bare minimum, and it's bland and boring and kind of lifeless at times. You can make that jump. So we don't get a scene where Maurice is sent back to the to the village. Nope, we just cut right to her getting out.
Oh, mademoiselle. I know. He gets so dramatic. Hello.
That's the only real reaction that she gives in this entire movie. That's the only realistic one. Everything else is the bare minimum.
You can talk.
Well, of course he can talk. It's all he ever does.
You think that's special? I used to be a wizard! Yeah, I'm about to say, like, again, the set pieces are really good in this movie. This is a very visually good movie. I mean, okay, the CGI shit, but everything else is pretty good. Oh, what the fuck is that? Burn it with fire! Kill it! Kill that fucking thing! It's fucking demon from hell! Seriously, it looks so creepy. Like, who thought that design was okay? It looks so creepy. That's such a weird design. It's so off-putting and scary.
I will find you something worthy of a princess.
Where are your eyes? Yeah, apparently her quirk is she sleeps a lot. Yeah, it's really quite a character there.
Rabbits.
Gosh, it disturbs me to see.
This is my favorite song from the movie, and it kind of hurts to see a song that I love so much be done half-assed like this. I don't know.
I needed encouragement. Thank you, LeFou.
Well, there's no one as easy to bolster as you. Too much?
Yep.
It's funny given the fact that Luke Evans is gay. Now we have this random, unnecessary dance sequence in the middle of a good song. Yeah, this was needed. We needed this in the original.
Who can make up these endless refrains like Gaston?
I'll admit that was a clever line. They point out the fact that that's a meme, kind of.
And his name's G-A-S-T. I believe there's another T.
We get it, Josh.
It just occurred to me that I'm illiterate and I've never actually had to spell.
Okay, we get it, ma'am. You can stop now.
A beast. A huge, horrid, monstrous beast. His castle is hidden in the woods. It's already winter there.
Winter in June?
Crazy old Maurice.
Listen to me!
Is he really crazy old Maurice, or is he just generic bland Maurice? That's the reason why I don't like the change of personality. They call him insane and stuff like that, but he hasn't shown any clear sign that he's crazy whatsoever. In the original animated movie, he was a bumbling fool. Everybody already thought he was crazy. This was the straw that broke the camel's back, though. But in this movie, this is the first instance of that, so it's like, why are they thinking he's crazy? I mean, I get it's a weird thing to claim, but yeah, it's like everyone's calling him crazy, but he's never been crazy before. What the fuck? Makes no sense. Gotta say right now, the Beast looks like shit. He looked good in the trailer, but I think they went back and added more CGI on him to make him look shittier. And now he looks like a piece of shit. He looks awful. He really does. He just looks so bad. Alright, one other change I kind of like is this. Like, for every petal that falls, more of the castle falls apart, and the characters become more, like, inanimate objects. I like that. That's actually a nice change. That's a nice addition.
I'm worried about him. He's never been on his own.
Yeah, he went to the store by himself. What the fuck?
Of course. But what is dinner without a little music?
This is another problem I have with the casting. They got Obi-Wan Kenobi to play Lumiere, and it's like, really?
Are there any other tasteless demands you wish to make upon my artistry?
No, that's it.
There you are, dear.
Yeah, we really needed another character added to this movie. Well, here we go. Another poor, heartless rendition of a classic song.
He's not whole without a soul to wait upon.
She's like, I want to eat, damn it. Just let me fucking eat. Stop singing this soulless rendition of a classic song. Let me eat already. Sorry, you're no Angela Lansbury, sweetheart.
Straight to bed.
They don't even escort her to bed, though. Like, in the original movie, Lumiere and Cogsworth were there, and she snuck away from them. Here, though, she's just free to walk around wherever she pleases. Again, the set pieces look awesome. I just wish the acting was more up to par. I wish the writing was better. It had better pacing, less filler. Yeah. I think we got this in 1999. Yeah, why am I not watching that one?
What are you doing here? What did you do to it? Nothing. Do you realize what you could have done? You could have damned us all! Get out of here! Go!
Again, I hate the pacing. I hate how fast everything just goes. It just goes by so quickly. All the best scenes in the original go by so quick. It sucks. I love how easy it was for her to leave. Like, she left just like that. Of course, that's what happened in the original too, but still. Yeah, where were these wolves when Maurice left, huh? Oh yeah, we couldn't show that part. The original movie did. There were like 12 wolves there, and only like 3 attacked. Sorry, the beast, the wolves probably could have kicked the beast's ass. But in the animated movie, they actually showed all the wolves fighting him, and it was actually pretty cool. Here, though, it was very lackluster. I know I make it sound like it not being the original movie is a problem. This didn't have to be the original movie. Okay, I know the original is going to be better than this, but it's like this movie doesn't even try to be good on its own right. It's so minimal. It just does the bare minimum, and that's it, and that's the problem. The problem isn't that it's not the original. The problem is that it doesn't try to live up to it. It's like it knows it can't live up to the original, so it doesn't bother trying, and that itself is a problem.
There it is. That's the tree.
So the tree magically fixed itself when Maurice left, but for some reason it didn't fix itself when Belle came to the castle.
I will feed you to the wolves!
Don't stop it! Freeze! You happy thoughts. Go back to the war. Blood, explosions, countless widows. Yes, yes, that's it.
Not gonna lie, this scene kind of makes me laugh. It's kind of a funny scene, actually.
Once the wolves have finished with him, Belle will have no one to take care of her but me.
For the sake of exhausting all of our options, do we maybe want to consider a slightly less gruesome alternative?
Are you coming?
You're quite right there, dear. You see, when the master lost his mother, and his cruel father took that sweet, innocent lad and twisted him up to be just
So there's the reason why all the staff was cursed as well. Because they didn't step into an abusive child relationship. Basically, yeah, because they didn't stop this kid from getting abused, they got cursed too. Couple problems. One, how the fuck did the Enchantress know he was abused? Second off, that's not their fucking problem. And 3, this is the only time in the movie it's ever brought up. So, yeah, this is just so loosely thrown in there just for the sake of having a reason. It's lazy and it sucks. Oh, and here's the biggest fuck you moment. Well, it's not here. It's not here at this moment, but it's gonna come later near the end of the movie. That's the Enchantress right there. That is the Enchantress. For some reason, she's back in the movie. I don't know why she's here. There's no reason for her to be back in the movie. She's done her part of the story. This is a fairy tale. We don't need the Enchantress to come back. Alright? It's just so dumb. She's so pointless.
Have you really read every one of these books?
Well, not all of them. Some of them are in Greek.
Was that a joke? Are you making jokes now?
Maybe.
Some people call that chemistry. I call it really awkward flirting. I don't know. The original movie had such natural chemistry between the two characters. This just feels kind of like awkward tension. It's forced. It feels really, really weird. Okay, that's funny. I'm sorry. This movie has really brief moments that genuinely are funny and kind of charming, but they're very brief and scarce. There's only really 3 or 4 moments I genuinely like. Well, yeah, that was sure would have took her head off. Here's another pointless filler scene that's unnecessary and doesn't add a damn thing. Oh, is this the book? This is when they bring up the book?
A book that truly allows you to escape.
Amazing.
Yeah, the Enchantress is a real fucking bitch. Jesus, she went above and beyond to say fuck you. Even though she broke in. So yeah, this whole entire scene is pointless filler. We find out what happened to Belle's mom. But the thing is, when she finds out the truth, it does not add a thing to her character. At all. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. At all. So it's a completely pointless subplot that goes nowhere. It's dumb.
Oh, I love Paris. What would you like to see first? Notre Dame? The Champs-Élysées? No? Too touristy?
Yeah, because they had the word tourist. They really had the word tourist back in the 1800s, did they?
This is the Paris of my childhood. These were the waters of my life. In this crumbling, dusty attic.
Every time I hear her sing with these new songs, I just can't help but wonder how it would sound if Paige O'Hara sang it. It would sound amazing. But again, Emma Watson is just fine. She's just fine and nothing more.
This is some storm, huh? At least we're not tied to a tree in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by blood.
Why are you saying that out loud with 3 people following you? Dumbass! You're saying out loud with 3 people behind you who could hear you.
Gaston, did you try to kill Maurice?
This scene also pisses me off so much.
Maurice, it's one thing to rave about your delusions. It's another to accuse me of attempted murder.
Maurice, do you have any proof of what you're saying?
You'd hang your accusations on the testimony of a filthy hag. No offense, hag.
Why are you going to LeFou for? You already have a witness. Who cares if he's an old hag? It doesn't matter. She's still out. She still found him. Yeah, for real. Like, they think he's insane and shit, but to me it's like... Again, he's never been crazy before, and plus, he has a witness. This is stupid.
I feel like a fool.
And you look like CGI shit.
Do not be discouraged.
Yeah, her dress looks kind of boring, honestly. There was something very elegant about the original dress, but this new dress just looks kind of basic prom night dress. And that's it. Very dull looking, honestly.
Tale as old as time.
I hate how perfectly they just walk down the stairs. In the original, the dog like ran between them and stuff like that, signifying it wasn't a exactly perfect symmetrical night, but still it was a fun night. It's a very small detail that really added a lot, but this movie doesn't make that effort to add those little details. I know it may seem like a really stupid thing to point out, but still, it's just really small things like that go a long way. They really add so much more than you think they do.
I'd like to see my father.
Man, they're still arresting his ass. That happened like about an hour ago.
He's in trouble.
They were trying to arrest him like forever ago. They're still arresting him? Man, I don't like the scene either. In the original movie, like, you saw like so many emotions go through the Beast at this moment. Like, he steps back, he looks at the rose, he turns very slowly, he cringes and closes his eyes. Here, it's instantly like, you must go to him, like, instantaneously. Like, see, we don't feel the emotion of these characters. And that's another big problem. It's like, ugh. It's just such a soulless, empty husk of a remake. That's why I hate it so much.
Because he loves her.
Then why are we...
I was the one who had it all. I was the master of my fate.
So many people like this song, and they say it's like the best new song. For me, it's like, yeah, I don't really care for it either.
It's time to take some action, boys. It's time to follow me.
Yeah, let's blow some carts up, because why not?
Sacre bleu! Invaders!
Oh, now they found the path to the castle.
So much.
He let me go, Papa. He sent me back.
Why didn't Chip go with Belle like he did in the original movie? He could have gotten him out of there. Plus, it'd give him a point to be in the movie. In this movie, everyone is kind of just... Everyone in the background is just kind of there because they were in the movie. In the original.
Sorry, old friend. It's hero time.
Oh, ouch.
What about our gayness? This movie had made such a big deal about gays.
Go and teach them a lesson. Go!
Yeah, jump off that place and just crush somebody like in the original.
Beautiful. Go. Be free. Be free. Be free.
That's more for transgenders than gay, don't you think? I don't know. That's how it came across to me.
I'm coming, my love. This is it. The battle lady is singing.
Oh, she didn't crush him! Seriously. And here she is, the Enchantress, who decides to just say, okay, you suffered enough, I'm gonna magically bibbidi-bobbidi-boo your ass back to normal. Because, yeah, what's the point of him falling in love if the Enchantress is just gonna fucking come in and fix everything? Like, seriously, like... I mean, I get she's like, she feels like he's learned his lesson, but still, like... I'm sorry, but this is just such a big... This is such a big fuck you to the original ending. It just renders everything pointless. What's the point of the beast falling in love? Like, the love was what was supposed to break the spell. Not the Enchantress deciding, okay, I fucked with you enough, I'm gonna fix everything now. I'm done being a jackass. Like, no, fuck this scene and fuck this movie, man. That's so stupid. Fuck you! Bitch! And what does the beast look like in his human form? A young Alec Baldwin, of all people. I'm sorry, I think that's like, really funny. Oh, that's real charming. Obi-Wan and Gandalf together at last. Yeah, you really fixed this town, didn't you, bitch?
I've been so lonely.
Turn back into a clock.
Okay, this is funny. That's funny, I'll admit.
How would you feel about growing a beard?
Fuck you. There's your game moment, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why this movie made $1 billion. It's over. Good job, Bill Condon. You ruined a really good anime movie. It's over. Ugh. Okay. I know a lot of people really like this movie, and I know a lot of people think it's really unfair to compare it to the original, but when it's a remake of the original, it's kind of hard to not look back at the original. In fact, if anything, it's important to look back on the original. And let me make it real clear now. I was not expecting this to be as good as the original. Alright? I never do. I never go into a remake believing it's going to be better than the original, if not as good. Alright? I expect it to be worse in some regard. But here's the thing. I went and saw Cinderella and Jungle Book as well in theaters. And I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say I'm not lying. Those are not good movies either. But here's the thing. The difference between those two movies. Those two movies made improvements upon the original source material, I will admit, and they at least tried to live up to the charm and the magic of the original. Beauty and the Beast doesn't do that, alright? It's a movie that knew it wouldn't compare, so it didn't bother trying. As a result, the characters are more forgettable, the story has weird pacing, like some scenes are really just drag on forever, and the really important stuff just kind of flicks right by. Like, again, like you have the first 20 minutes of trying to establish Belle as an outcast when the opening song is all you need. The opening song already established that Belle's an outcast, and yet we need 20 minutes of screen time to emphasize that point more, which is just really dumb and ridiculous and kind of mean-spirited. And then you have, so you have the pace. The characters are duller. The pacing is all off. you have the random changes to the story and the source material that don't make a lot of sense. Like, okay, some small changes are okay. Like, for example, whenever a rose petal fell off the rose, some of the cast will break apart and the characters would become more like objects. That's a small change I like. And then there's the idea that no one remembers them. That's something that was actually a loophole in the original story that was fixed. But aside from that, you have other changes that don't make any sense. Like, for example, you have the ending, which really did piss me off. You have the ending where the Enchantress just comes in and just magically fixes everything herself, which kind of negates the whole point of her falling in love with him. Like, the point of the curse was to teach the beast how to love and to be loved in return. He did that, and that should have fixed the curse. Sure, the Enchantress is there, the Enchantress sees it happen, and she sees that he learned his lesson, but still, like, what's the point? It just kind of ruins the whole thing. Then there's the filler, the needless, pointless filler. There's a huge subplot involving Belle's mom, and you want to know why they did that? They did it because, well, it's become like, you see, like, Disney fans nowadays, they hate the cliche that princesses have to grow up without their moms. See, that's why so many people love Moana, because Moana's mom's alive. Even though in reality, she's in the movie for like 2 minutes, and if you cut her out, really nothing would be different. Like, Moana's mom does nothing to the story, it adds a thing, so... But hey, she's in the movie, and that makes it so good, right? No, fuck that, I don't care. I mean, I don't want... It's not that I don't want Moana to have a mom, it's the fact that they made a big deal about it. That's the big deal. Speaking of making a big deal out of nothing, the gay stuff. That pissed me off beyond belief. The marketing for this movie. Making it so... Like, hyping up the fact that there's gay shit in this movie. When in reality, there really isn't. There is, like... Fuck. There is, like, so little gay to be found in this movie. It's genuinely insulting for the marketing to go around and lie to everybody. Like, the movie went around saying, like, if you support gay rights, if you support gay marriage or whatever, then you have to come see this movie. And that's kind of the reason why the movie made $1 billion, because so many people thought it was a very progressive thing. When in reality, if you think about it, when you look at it and you look at the marketing, you find it's a very sleazy marketing tactic. And they kind of just used gay people to make more money for their film. So, yeah. I also find it kind of funny that, like, they chose Luke Evans, of all people, for Gaston. When you think about it, he's gay in real life. And he's got a character, and he's got a gay guy chasing after him, and he's like, no. I know you can't make Gaston gay in this movie, because, well, he's Gaston, he's the bad guy. I also find it kind of funny that they didn't make Cogsworth gay. Like, here's the thing. Cogsworth is played by Gandalf, who I can't remember his fucking name. Like, Ian something. Ian McDowell, I think his name is. I can't remember. But Ian, and Gandalf. Bottom line is, he's gay in real life. And the actor who played him in the 91 version was also gay. So, yeah, big missed opportunity there, but no, let's make LeFou of all people, played by Josh fucking Gad of all people, the comic relief gay. Yeah, that really looks good, doesn't it? I just thought that was a really weird missed opportunity on their part. But it's so weird that for a movie that made such a big deal about all the gay stuff in this movie, it just, yeah, for a movie that made such a big deal about the gay stuff, they really had a lot of missed opportunities there. But what are you going to do? The casting. Aside from Luke Evans as Gaston, Josh Gad as LeFou, and Kevin Kline as Maurice, everyone's not that good. I mean, okay. Everyone's not that good. You have Emma Watson as Belle, who is just... You can tell they clearly picked her because of the star power and nothing else. She's a very famous actress. Everyone knows her name. They know her face. She's one of the biggest actresses in the world right now. Yeah, you can tell they picked her just for the namesake alone. And if anybody's wondering, there was a bit of a thing going on for casting of this movie between her and Emma Stone. To be fair, I think Emma Watson's a better Belle than Emma Stone would have been. I don't know. I think Emma Stone just would have not worked. I think it would have been even worse. I don't know. No, I don't know. It's just something about Emma Stone that would just be even worse. Even though that's not fair, given I haven't seen her. But yeah, it's just, I think Emma Watson's a better choice, but still not a good casting choice. I don't know. There's also the fact that she can't really sing that well. I mean, okay, she's fine. That's the thing. And for a musical like this, especially a big, world-famous musical like Beauty and the Beast, you gotta get a big voice. Like Paige O'Hara, every time she sang, every time she opened her mouth, she knocked it out of the ballpark. She was so good. And to this day, she's still really good. Emma Watson is just fine. And for a movie that's so big and needs a big voice, that is a problem. Okay? And speaking of which, Emma Watson's performance is also not that good. I mean, okay, she's not terrible. Okay, she reads her lines okay. She does everything okay. And that's it. She's just okay. She just does the most basic, charmless performance ever. And that's a big problem. Again, but I felt more that the animated Belle is a lot more alive and more of a real person than Belle here was in the live-action movie. And that I shouldn't feel that? I mean, I get it. The power of animation is amazing, and I get it. And again, I wasn't expecting it better to be than the original, but still, it's like, it's just such a basic, underutilized performance. And we know that Emma Watson's a good actress. She can do good roles. All right, I'm not just talking about Hermione. Perks of a Wallflower, I love that movie, and she's a good part of that. But aside from that, there's also Beast, who I think is just fine too. Ewan McGregor, who played Obi-Wan in the prequels, also I think is a really weird choice as Lumiere. He's not a French person. It always sounds like a guy who's just pretending to be French to me. Ian, whatever his name is, as Cogsworth is fine. I like him. He's good. I don't know who played the Feather Duster. Yeah, she's okay, I guess. I don't know who she was. The piano. Do we really need to add him? Did he really add anything to the overall story? He had one scene where he talked about having dental pain. And apparently he has a relationship with the wardrobe. Which, by the way, who the fuck designed that wardrobe? That thing was scary as shit. That thing's gonna give kid fucking nightmares. But yeah, apparently they had a romance. Also, the wardrobe didn't kill anybody, so that was also a big disappointment that I had. So, yeah. Then there's the filler scenes, like the subplots again. That whole subplot with Belle's mother, I kind of got off track with that. Like, they did it because, like, it's become a cliche for princesses to not have their moms and to not talk about the moms at all. They kind of just, or at least at the very least have like a throwaway line that says the mom's dead or gone or whatever. Well, it's like, yeah, but at the same time, did Belle's mother really do anything to the character? Not in the movie, no. Like, Belle's mother and realizing the truth and figuring out what happened to her, it didn't add a thing to the overall story. It doesn't do a fucking thing to the story, to Belle's character as a whole. It doesn't do a fucking thing at all. It's a completely worthless subplot that does nothing, and it was only thrown in there because Disney fans would have complained if we did nothing about the mom, and that's it. And I think that's a big problem because, like, it's a fairy tale, and that's a thing. For a movie that was so bent out of shape trying to fix the original with, like, adding to the details and everything like that, when in reality you didn't need to do that, it just kind of feels like an insult to the original film. Like, this movie was just duller, it was just weaker, more padded out, wasn't as charming, wasn't as lively, wasn't as good looking even. I know I phrased some of the set pieces, and they are. The set pieces are really good in this movie, but the CGI is awful. It is awful, alright? Especially on the Beast. He looks like a fucking blobby mess. It looks terrible. I'm sorry. Which is sad because, again, I saw the trailer. He looked awesome in the trailer. But then the final movie release, and you can tell they added more CGI in him, and it looks like shit. It's, like, really bad. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was, like, a last-minute thing they added onto it. And, yeah, then you have the random thing involving Gaston trying to straight-up murder Maurice. Because, yeah, and then, again, that's a reason why I didn't like this portrayal of Maurice in this movie. Because in the original movie, he was a bumbling idiot that always tried to work out a lot of new gadgets, and he often failed. And as a result, the townspeople thought he was not that smart, he was really weird and crazy. Yeah, and so that's why when the scene came in later for Maurice to say, "There's a beast that kidnapped my daughter," and everyone's laughing at him, it makes sense. But in this movie, we don't have that character. Maurice just seems like your typical tinker and nothing more. He's more along the lines of Geppetto from Pinocchio rather than Maurice from Beauty and the Beast. And so when they start laughing, I'm like, he's a crazy old Maurice. I was like, wait, he's not crazy old Maurice. He's typical okay Maurice, and that's it. And yeah, I mean, I get it. Of course, we gotta make Gaston look like a bad guy, but I mean, yeah, the stuff he did in the original movie is already enough. You don't need to have him become a murderer. I don't know. A lot of the changes, there are very few changes that work, okay, in this movie's favor, but so many of the other choices just feel forced. Like the child abuse thing. Again, that scene, that's the only time they bring up child abuse. They threw child abuse into this movie just for the sake of giving us some really, really loose explanation as to why the staff got cursed as well. And I guess it's to have more adult subject matter in the movie, which is really unnecessary. I mean, Beauty and the Beast didn't have adult subject matter. I mean, it doesn't need it. It was a fun family kids movie. You don't need adult subject matter like fucking child abuse. I mean, the plague scene I'm actually okay with. That didn't bother me too much. But, yeah, the fucking child abuse thing, like, okay, yeah, I think you're getting a little too far out of hand with this. And again, that's the only scene in the movie that actually talked about it. It's like, yeah, it's so obvious it was a forced scene that was just thrown in there just to make an explanation, when in reality you didn't need it. Alright? I know people make the jokes, I know people will point and make fun of the original movie and everything like that, say, oh, this is why the movie is, oh, okay, these are the plot holes in the original story, is like why this would never work in real life and everything like that. And I get it, but you gotta remember, Disney always had that. Alright, remember Little Mermaid when Ariel lost her voice? So many people could just say, why does he just write a letter to Eric and say, oh yeah, I'm the bitch who saved you, okay, kiss me and find out. It's like, yeah, she could have done that. But then the movie would be half an hour shorter and we wouldn't have a climax and yeah, we wouldn't really have a story or a movie anymore, would we? It's like for fairy tales, sometimes you have to throw logic out the window and common sense for the sake of the story, alright? And yeah, sometimes you just genuinely need to do that. Like in Lion King, for example, Simba is in the middle of nowhere, and we're expected to believe that he stayed in that little jungle there eating bugs his whole life. Yeah, a real lion would probably be malnourished as fuck. But again, it's a fairy tale. You can kind of throw some logic and common sense out the window here. And Frozen, for fuck's sake. The opening is a big plot hole. Like, the trolls could have told her the truth of controlling her powers right there, but then you wouldn't have a movie, would you? Again, it's like this movie wants so badly to try and fill in the details and the blanks, but you don't need to for a fairy tale. Sometimes you can kind of say fuck the details in a fairy tale. You can say screw it. Like, you can say forget it. Like Snow White, for example. Would it really be okay for some random prince to walk up and kiss a dead girl? No, never. No. Hell, you probably couldn't get away with that period nowadays. I'm just saying, like, the movie tried so hard to do something and fix things that did not need to be fixed, and change things that didn't need to be changed. It added things that were unnecessary and just padded out the runtime. The characters are blander than before. The actors are not giving great performances. They're giving it the most okay performances and nothing else. That's about it, really. There's no charm, no charisma at all. It's just a very dull, bland, empty husk of an experience, and that's what I really don't like about this movie. I mean, the Beauty and the Beast movie, the original one, I love that movie to death. The 1991 version is so good. Like, there's a reason for why it was the first animated movie to be nominated for the Best Picture, because it took such detail and it really cared about the detail. That's what I'm talking about. Like, again, I brought this up. That scene where the Beast and Belle are walking down the stairs right as the title song Beauty and the Beast plays. Like, they walk down the stairs, then the dog kind of runs in between them. Beast's like, oh, okay. Hey. Like, that's a cute little detail. It's like, it would have been so easy and so perfect to have them just walk down the stairs symmetrically and just walk down there and go to the dining room and that'd be it. But no, life isn't like that. Life isn't perfect like that. No, the dog does need to kind of run in and bark and kind of interrupt the moment. But it's a very cute and charming moment. Like, even with the little perfect symmetry ruined, it's like, they're not going to let that ruin their night. Like, come on, that little thing, that says a lot, actually. It's one little scene, one little detail, and yet it speaks such volumes about what the movie is trying to teach. The message of the movie overall about what real love is, what true romance is. And that one scene emphasizes that so powerfully. It may not seem like a big deal. Again, maybe I'm just speaking out of my ass here, but it was such a good detail in my opinion. And the movie had such amazing details. Like, again, the opening scene, the opening song for Belle, Again, Belle was the only one wearing blue in the original movie. It was to make her pop out and stand out more from an artistic point of view. But in this movie, half the town is wearing blue, and you can tell, like, they didn't really pay attention to the animated movie. They didn't want to throw in those extra details. They didn't want to take it the extra mile. This was a hollow cash grab, and that's it. This was a husk of a movie that they knew would make a lot of money, regardless of whether they tried or not. And that is my biggest problem with this movie. And again, they had to manipulate people into thinking they were promoting gay rights, when in reality, there's only 2 gay scenes in the entire movie. One of those scenes, both of these scenes near the very end of the movie, and one of these scenes, you can argue is more for transgenderism rather than homosexualism, or sexuality, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Bottom line, guys, I just do not like this movie. I really don't. Do I think it's awful? No, but I hate the marketing. The marketing was awful. That's straight up insulting. Like, God's Not Dead insulting. But at the same time, this is just an empty husk of a film that didn't really try anything new, really. Or really try to change the source material in any real way whatsoever. It was a very dull, boring experience. And I can't wait to tear it apart. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you soon. So thanks for watching, guys. And as always, rock on.